Who's that clown? If you think you know the real Art the Clown, think again. Here's the story of how the iconic slasher was recast for his big screen debut. Ever since Terrifier 2 scared up big wins at the box office, making $15.7 million on a $250,000 budget, its homicidal antagonist has become somewhat of a slasher star. Art the Clown, portrayed by the inimitable Howard Thornton, is a silent, psychopathic harlequin who becomes positively gleeful in the presence of all-out human carnage. Director and creator of the Terrifier series, Damien Leone, originally created Art the Clown after being struck by the idea of a woman being menaced by a creepy clown on a bus. As Leone told Entertainment Weekly, "She's all alone, coming home from work or whatever in the middle of the night, and then this clown gets on and sits across from her and starts staring at her and toying with her. It's awkward and uncomfortable and maybe even funny, but then it gets progressively more intimidating and aggressive." Thus, Art was born. But while Howard Thornton has now come to define the character's ghoulishly comedic presence, back when Leone first decided to realize his vision, he used a completely different actor. Art the Clown was inspired by iconic horror killers, combining elements of Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, and Jason with an extra sprinkling of twisted tricksterish energy. But before he really came into his own as a burgeoning slasher star, the character was one of many to feature in Damien Leone's short films. The first of these was 2008's The Ninth Circle, in which Art appears at an empty train station on Halloween and chases a young woman. This version of the character was played by Mike Giannelli, and the actor spoke to the Square Roundtable podcast about meeting Leone in 2002 and becoming friends with the director. He explained how Leone always doodled everywhere, and recalled how one day, after sketching the first idea for Art, the director asked him whether he wanted to play the character in The Ninth Circle. Giannelli agreed to what was then a small role, but would actually go on to play the bloodthirsty clown in 2 other projects. Mike Giannelli wasn't simply a stopgap solution before Howard Thornton could fulfill the role of Art. He was there for the inception of the character and the evolution of Art's distinct look, modeling the various creations that Damien Leone produced. The actor told the Square Roundtable podcast about the initial look for Art, recalling how he was originally supposed to have white eyes or red eyes, but the contact lenses kept popping out, so Leone scrapped the idea. The original makeup was also supposed to be very different too.
Yeah, in Ninth Circle, I'm pretty sure just like my face painted, maybe a little nose prosthetic, maybe it was just like clay or something, nothing crazy.
But after viewers of The Ninth Circle seemed to respond well to Art, Leone began improving on the look for 2011's short film Terrifier. For this second on-screen outing, Art took center stage, butchering yet another poor woman who happened to witness one of his murders at a gas station. By this time, Leone had created a mold of Giannelli's face and had been slowly building on it over time. Unfortunately, it seems the process of developing, applying, and then removing this extensive makeup was part of the reason Giannelli eventually left Art behind. In 2013's All Hallows Eve, Mike Giannelli once again portrayed Art the Clown, and while All Hallows Eve was technically Damien Leone's feature directorial debut, much of it was just repurposed footage from his previous short films. His actual feature directorial debut became 2016's Terrifier, in which Art the Clown finally got the full-length treatment he deserved. But when Art ventured out for this first feature-length massacre, it wasn't Giannelli behind the makeup, but Howard Thornton. The actor got the gig after a nasty bit of improv during his audition, in which he mimed salting a severed head to taste, a glimpse of the sadistic humor Howard Thornton would bring to the role. But it seems like there was no bad blood between the two Arts, as Giannelli told the Square Roundtable hosts.
I was offered the role to do Terrifier. I turned it down. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of filming long hours.
Mike Giannelli elaborated on his filming frustrations with the Square Roundtable boys, revealing that he would have to spend hours at the end of every day removing the mask that Leone applied, adding, "It was horrible. I had fake fingernails. He was making all these pus-filled holes on my arm. It was crazy. I hated every second of it. Love the outcome, love Damien, but I can't sit still, so having to be there for hours, it's not fun." On top of all that, the actor recalled how Leone always filmed during the winter, so shooting was always a chilly affair, especially considering the clown suit itself was remarkably thin. It might sound as though Mike Giannelli abandoned Damien Leone just as he was preparing to give Art the Clown the feature-length treatment, but it seems the director holds no ill will or bitterness towards the erstwhile Art actor. In 2022, he told the Austin Chronicle that Giannelli is still his buddy before going on to explain the difference between Giannelli and Howard Thornton. Mike may as well have been a guy dressed as a clown, whereas David is a clown. If you know him in person, he is a walking cartoon. He is Roger Rabbit in real life, and you'd never believe that he's Art the Clown, but he knows how to flip the switch and bring it to a dark place. Meanwhile, Giannelli has all but retired from acting and seems quite comfortable raising a family and generally staying away from pig guts. So, while Howard Thornton has undeniably put his stamp on art, Giannelli deserves recognition for his part in creating the iconic character.